Hello, everyone, and welcome to Screams from the Vault. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, we will be looking at the story of the whispering shadows in my hallway. So sit back, lock your doors, turn down the lights, and let's open the vault. There's something deeply unsettling about hearing whispers in a place you know should be silent. Not voices from people, not the wind, but something darker. Voices that sound like they're made of breath and blackness. For months, I tried to convince myself that what I heard in my hallway was my imagination, until the shadows started whispering back. I moved into a small apartment after a rough breakup. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was quiet, cheap, and close to work. The hallway was the first thing I noticed. Long, narrow, and always darker than the rest of the place, even with the lights on. Behind that darkness, it felt like something watched. At first, I brushed it off as nerves. New place, new energy, old pipes. It all blends into weird noises. But the first whisper came on my third night. I was brushing my teeth when I heard a soft, breathy hey. This hey came from the hallway. I froze, foamy toothbrush halfway to my mouth. I waited, thinking maybe someone outside was talking. Then I heard it again, closer. Look at me. I turned off the bathroom light, slowly peeking into the hallway. Nothing. Silence. Darkness. I convinced myself I was tired. Stress can make the mind do strange things. So I went to sleep. But the next night, the shadow at the far end of my hallway had grown. It wasn't a trick of the light. It had shape. And it was weeding. Over the next week, things escalated. Objects slid an inch across counters. The picture frames tilted themselves. And every night at 2:14 a.m., without fail, I heard the same whisper. Come here. I tried recording it, but the audio always came back corrupted, like the darkness itself interfered. One evening, after a long day at work, I stepped inside and realized something was wrong. There were footprints on the hallway floor, small, dusty imprints leading from the dark end toward my bedroom. I followed the trail, trembling. At my bedroom door, the footsteps just stopped, as if whatever made them walked straight into the room. That night, I slept with the lights on. Around 3 a.m., the bulb flickered, then shattered. The room plunged into darkness, and the whisper came again, but this time right beside my ear. I'm getting closer. I screamed and turned on my phone flashlight. Nothing there, but in the hallway, the shadow was bigger, taller, stretching across the floor like a living stain. I called my friend Mark, asked him to stay over. He joked I just needed sleep, but agreed anyway. He slept on the couch. At around 2 a.m., he burst into my room, pale and shaking. Dude, someone whispered my name from the hallway. He refused to stay another minute, and he never came back. By now, sleep was impossible. I kept my lights on at all times. I barricaded the hallway with furniture, but the shadow kept growing. If I turned away, even just for a second, it seemed to crawl closer, inch by inch. One night, I grabbed a flashlight and forced myself to face the hallway. I wanted to prove this was all in my head. I stepped toward darkest end. The air grew thick, heavy, cold. And then, from the corner of the hallway, I heard it. Wrong way. I spun around. The whisper wasn't coming from the darkness. It was behind me. I turned the flashlight downward. There was another shadow on the floor, right under my feet, stretching toward the wall even though the light was directly above me. It wasn't mimicking my movements. It was reaching for me. When I backed away, both shadows, the one behind me and the one in the hallway, shivered like they were excited. That's when I finally broke. I packed a bag and decided to leave that night. But the shadows, they didn't want me to. As I was heading for the door, the walls vibrated with whispers. My hallway melted into pure black, swallowing the light from my phone. Then, from the darkness, a voice emerged. Not soft anymore, not faint, but loud, layered like dozens of voices speaking as one. We were never in your hallway. The darkness expanded, swallowing the walls, the ceiling, the floor. We were in you. A cold, invisible hand wrapped around my ankle and yanked me backward. I fell hard, dropping my phone as the hallway stretched unnaturally long, like the building was twisting into a maze. I crawled, clawing at the air, screaming for help. The shadows surged toward me, whispering louder and louder. Let us inside. Don't fight. We've been waiting. I shut my eyes tight. Something grabbed my wrist. But this time, it was warm. A neighbor had heard the noise and pulled me out into the stairwell. The moment I crossed the threshold, the shadows recoiled and disappeared like smoke. I didn't ask questions. I ran. I never went back for my things. The landlord called me a week later, complaining that I left the apartment in shambles. He said the hallway walls were covered in handprints. All of them black, all of them too small to be mine. He also asked why I scribbled one phrase all over the hallway door, a phrase I don't remember writing. It followed me. I hung up immediately and checked the walls of my new place. Nothing. But last night, as I walked to the bathroom, I noticed something. My shadow wasn't attached to my feet for a second. Just 1 second. It lagged behind, as if it had stopped to whisper something I couldn't hear yet.
If you enjoyed tonight's story and want more chilling nightmares, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another tale from the vault. And remember, if your hallway ever starts whispering, don't answer. Sleep tight if you dare.